This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so I am here today with Jennifer Mitchell from the Soul Experience here in Las Vegas. She offers quantum healing hypnosis techniques, and we actually exchanged sessions over the past month. Oh my goodness, it seems time's flying, I swear.
Right?
And so we did an online session recently where I offer soul integration sessions. And really, so just kind of a little insight into my take on soul integration sessions is that I really believe that at this time we're moving into kind of a new age, a new experience where we are bridging and integrating our physicality, physical body, and our physical reality, because we've been really good, we're really good at physical reality. We know how to do physical stuff.
Yeah.
And now we're really being introduced to this whole other side of our lives, of our world, of energy and vibrations and auras and crystals and chakras and just all of these things that have been here for a really long time, but are obviously becoming a very active part of our lives. And so my experience in, the last 10 years of my career and working with quantum healing and energy healing and all of this stuff is that we're learning how to integrate our mind, body, and soul in one space and time in this vessel so that we really have the benefit of that perspective, of that wisdom, of that knowledge. And I do believe that we are like pioneers on the leading edge of creation. And that it's funny, I'll tell you a little story of like how I'm seeing things, but it's almost like in the 60s, we kind of came into this big spiritual awakening of all of and hallucinations and all of these kind of experimental drugs. And it was like, okay, the physical world is so crazy and so painful. Let's see if we can escape and remove ourselves and kind of go into this spiritual astral world. And that didn't necessarily work out so well because we're physical. We're physical for a reason. We're here for a reason. And so now it's kind of like, instead of escaping physicality and moving into the spiritual, it's really, to me, and you can kind of give me your feedback on this too, of bringing the energy into physicality, kind of integrating the presence of our soul, of our energy, of the vibrations of this whole other world, and inviting it, activating it in our lives so that honestly, we don't feel so freaking lost out here. So we have some sort of guidance system. So we have a sense of purpose. So we have, we know what we're doing a little bit, because I think that we're all just a little lost out here on the edge.
Yeah, you ever see like a bag floating in the wind? That's how I feel. I'm like, I feel, and it's important to know that we all feel like that at some point in time. And to your point, Jamie, we are here to activate. This is the awakening era. We live during a very special time in humanity. And there are those of us who are called to be those activators. And so I consider myself very lucky and, to be able to do this line of work and to help others to integrate and to find themselves.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of one of the things that I remember. I mean, I feel like I went through my awakening, or whatever you want to call it, that just basically waking up, and then when waking up is really just being aware that there is a presence of something much more than you've ever been taught or realized about yourself or the world that you live in, right? So just being aware of that. But really, basically what pushed me into that was being so incredibly uncomfortable in my own body and my own thoughts, and not knowing how to navigate life, not knowing how to make sense of my energy, my emotions, why I feel this way, and what this is trying to tell me. And so that's really what drove me in the last decade of my career in exploring the inner workings of the mind and body, and how our experience is literally created from the inside out, and how that happens, and how to work with the intelligence of our body and deliberately create new experiences. So understanding that there is an intelligence, and that's what I work with in my line of work. I studied a system called the body talk system that I was certified in 2014. I've since kind of found my own path, but it's the system that taught me about the consciousness of the body, about the innate intelligence of the body, that your body is this really amazing and beautiful system that basically was created with the purpose of producing the experience of your lifetime. And it works for you on your behalf to focus your choices literally into reality. And so I think it's really important that we begin to learn how to listen to it, how to recognize that there is an intelligence there, and that it has a really important message, and that it's not just trying to attack us, and that there's not always something wrong with us, and it's not that we're just getting old and falling apart and that's the way life is. And so really being able to uncover the important messages that are hidden in there, which kind of brings me to the session that we did. And it was really interesting because we had planned the session a few weeks ahead of time. And when we planned the session, did you have anything going on at that time? Like, did you have an intention for the session?
I really didn't, because honestly, I didn't know what to expect, because I knew that you're a soul integration practitioner, and I was really excited, going into the session and looking forward to it. And we were going to do an in-person session, and because of my situation, I threw out my back and I wasn't able to walk. So we decided to do a web session, which was perfectly fine. But yeah, like that for me, I was trying to analyze, I'm like, what's going on? Why am I throwing out my back? What does this mean? I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up.
So that happened, but that happened right before the session, right? So you planned the session and that your back was fine.
Fine. Yes.
And then like the day before the session, your back went out.
Yes, my back went out, and it's kind of like the body knows, or the mind knows, when you're going to start poking around, or that you're going to, try and do something to ground yourself or to integrate your essence. And I feel like it was a little ninja, like sabotage me. And
honestly, I want to just interrupt you real quick. I apologize, but you said something before we hopped on to record about how when practitioners like us, because you're in the same line of work, do powerful work like this, that negative forces might come up, right? Like random distractions or interruptions or whatever might come up to try and interfere. And now that we're talking about this, like, oh, we're going to do this powerful session, and then something negative, right? Something seemingly negative happened to kind of disrupt, so then you couldn't come in person anymore.
Right. And so I'll elaborate a bit on that. In my line of work, I work with the subconscious, as you know, and I do sessions with other practitioners. And it came up in another practitioner session where subconscious had revealed that, us as light workers, those of us, all of us, are here to help and here to do this work in the light. Just as many of us as there's also negative forces out there that will try to sabotage or may try to stop us from carrying on this type of work. And so to your point, I actually kind of just had an epiphany, like that really aligns with what we were just talking about before we started recording. Like, yes, my back goes out the day before. I'm unable to come in for this session. I was completely not mobile. And so yeah, those negative forces sometimes.
But you did it anyways, right? Like, so you sent me the message and we're like, I don't know if I can come in, but I really want to do it. And you did it from bed in pain. And I want to congratulate you on like following through, because that does happen sometimes in this work. And like something will come up that will give you the excuse to avoid kind of addressing it or
Right.
seeing the truth, honestly, because it's not like anything scary happened in the session. Basically, you just see the truth. But and just to kind of elaborate on that a little bit too, is that their belief systems. So that would be basically there's a limiting belief system stored in the mind and body. And limiting belief systems are just belief systems that we unknowingly locked into place at some point in their belief systems are just thoughts that we think over and over again.
We all
right?
have them.
So, yeah, and they could be good, they could be bad, they could be working for you, they could be working against you.
Yeah.
But if you think it over and over again, like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough, eventually your body will actually create a neurological pathway that begins to create that experience for you. So that kind of tension in the back was an indicator of this limiting belief system. And the thing about these belief systems is that they are intelligent in and of themselves, and they want to survive. So they'll try to distract you and make you think, oh, you don't go there, or that's not what they're really crafty, and you built them that way because we're so good at creating things. They're created with this kind of crafty built-in system. So it's always good to know that, like, when you're moving towards like a big shift or a revelation or something important, like they'll come up and kind of, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for you to see. And the more that you know, right, the more that you know about these things and how they're created and why they're there, and that you are really powerful in recrafting yourself, then they're not quite as scary, and you can still move through them rather than letting them prevent you from showing up.
And what I've come to find in my line of work, and I'm sure absolutely you as well, is that the body and mind are so integrated and so connected that when we do carry these limiting beliefs and these limiting thoughts, to your point, neural pathways are created, and it does directly impact the body. Like, our thoughts manifest in the body, and the wisdom of the body is so far beyond what any have we realized. So it is important that we have these limiting beliefs, that we try to overcome them through sessions like soul integration sessions with you, or and your type of line of work. Because when we reprogram these limiting beliefs, then we can just really be more deepened in our understanding of our own journey of the body.
Right. Yeah, and kind of even to go into a limiting belief a little bit more, because what I've kind of found is that your mind is constructing your body. It basically gives a set of information or directions to your cells and your organs and your endocrines. So for instance, if there is an active pattern of thought that says, I'm not supported, or insecurity is a big one for a lot of people. I don't feel like I have the resources I need. I don't feel like I'm secure in my path or what I'm doing. So when that thought is going on in the mind, the beautiful thing is that your body will create the experience you choose. It doesn't judge whether that experience is right or wrong or good or bad, because you are the captain of your vessel. You are the creator of your life. And there isn't really a judgment of right or wrong. There's a free will to choose. And we don't exercise the free will to choose very often because we just don't use it. Everybody else chooses for us. The news kind of imposes its beliefs, or our parents impose their beliefs. And so we're not choosing a lot of times. We're just kind of following what's trending, what's most popular at the time. Mm-hmm. And so that free will to choose is really important. But kind of going back to how the body doesn't care. And from the body's perspective, you are the master creator. So why would you ever choose an experience you don't want to have? especially if you know that you have the free will to choose. So your body's just like, okay, well, she keeps focusing on, I'm not supported, I'm not supported, I'm not supported. So we will literally create the experience of not being supported in your physical body, because
Right.
you're literally asking for it. Your body
Which
doesn't judge of whether or not.
Which is exactly what happened in my case. As we found out in the session, my back problem was a direct result of me not feeling supported. And so my mind and body made that connection, unbeknownst to me at the time. And you're trying to figure out, why is this happening? And the message was just, it was so simple. Once I realized it, it was like I had an epiphany. I was like, oh, it's so simple, the message, and the human mind likes to just try and overanalyze and overcomplicate things. So
yeah. And that, and really to go to that too, is that, and what I found in my career with massage therapy is the way that Western medicine has trained our mind to relate to our body is really, really, really limiting. It's really misleading. I found that most people misunderstood themselves to a severe degree. We're largely mislabeled or misdiagnosed and mistreated because of that. And that's a built-in program that we've kind of inherited. So even with you, even with someone who works in this line of work with subconscious and knowing that your body can heal itself, even when your back goes out, there's this subconscious programming in your brain that goes to what, and we talked about that, what does your brain think is causing this problem?
My brain logically thinks that is because of past traumas, or and not related to something present here and now. When I was younger, I was involved in a car accident. So right there, that's my mind automatically linking it to, this is what happened. I'm still feeling the pain from that years later, and it's manifesting now. Rather than taking a step back and realizing, like, hey, I'm about to go into this session that links my mind and body, and it's going to help create a safe place within myself. And my mind is like, or my body and my mind are like working together to kind of maybe sabotage that because of my belief system.
And it's honestly, what I think happens in those situations is that your mind and body are like, oh, here, take care of this one. Like, this is a big one. And it's not a big enough issue to like plague your everyday, but it's a big enough issue that it's influencing like thoughts and emotions and behaviors in like a subtle way, like a weird, irritating way that maybe you're not like super consciously aware of, but does impact like it's essentially how you show up in the world and how you present yourself. And so then when we're like, okay, we're gonna look for something, and the body's like, here, do this. This one is ready to go. So, and then also realizing that, and that's what I work a lot with with my clients, is shifting our perception around these indicators of pain and tension, of stress and anxiety, of negative thoughts and emotions, because our brain does have a specific concept around what those things mean. And it's usually wrong, to be honest. It's usually wrong about what that indicator is trying to tell you, because we've been taught so many different things. It was a car accident 20 years ago, or it's because I'm getting old, or it's because I need to lose weight, or I need to exercise more, or I need a new diet, or I need more vitamins or supplements. We're so physically oriented with these situations, and this is where we're just this integration aspect, where it's not that those things are wrong, and it's not that you shouldn't do those things. It's just that that's a small part of what makes you who you are. And literally, now that we're moving into more of a quantum perspective of life itself, quantum physics has helped us realize that we are 99.9999999% energetic information, and less than 1% physical molecular structure. So when you go to a doctor, or when you only focus on the physical, exercise, diet, whatever, you're really only addressing less than 1% what is contributing to your experience, which just seems crazy. Firstly.
Society is convinced us though that it is not crazy. But to your point, I mean, like 99% of what we do is subconscious, or like it manifests itself daily in our life, but we are not trained to recognize that or to realize that. Because society has taught us the Western medicine, or no, it's this or no, it's that, rather than realizing it's all based on belief systems and the mind and body are connected.
Right. And I think it's really cool because we're evolving. Like up until like honestly in the last 50 years has science caught up with energy. Right. So like, and I remember reading a book called The Biology of Belief with Dr. Bruce Lipton, talking about the evolution of the medical systems and Western medicine overpowering Eastern medicine because science couldn't prove the existence of energy. So now we're moving into an age where we can prove that the energy literally matters and it's important and it influences things. So we're babies in this world. Literally the last 50 years we've started to acknowledge that this is important. And so we're exploring like an uncharted territory within ourselves and learning how to literally integrate. And so when we talk about the soul, really it's the presence of energy, of that energetic information, of just this whole nother world. And we're baby stepping our way into it and learning how to get comfortable with it. And to kind of go back to these like belief systems and the limiting beliefs and things like that, I believe that there is an expression of our soul, like energy creation. There's specific traits to it, qualities to it, abundance, like infinite abundance and harmony and well-being and coherency. There's a general nature to creation that is harmonized and coherent and ever expanding and upwardly spiraling. And we're learning so much about the nature of reality itself and how we are connected to it and how we're a part of it and how we can literally integrate that. So when we talk about things like the soul or God or source or creation, really it's just our way of making sense of something that we're on the brink of integrating into our lives. And so really it's just this powerful life force energy that animates us, that makes us who we are. And so like with the work that I do, I'm working with the innate intelligence of your body that has essentially been with you from the time that you were 2 cells and helped to literally construct your vessel into trillions of cells that are all conscious. They all know who they are, and they have different jobs. They have different purposes to fulfill in your body. They were born for certain things. I always joke, like your large intestine was born to get rid of shit. That is what it loves to do. And so really just recognizing that each and every part of ourselves is really, really important and plays a role in our lives and is quite literally an expert in a specific aspect of your life. So like for you in your session in the lower back, your lower back kind of goes out and we brought up through the session that there, it had to do with that stability and the security and things like that, because that is an area of your body that specializes. So your hips and your pelvis specialize. They're experts in stability and support and security and flexibility. They literally hold lifetimes of experience that teach you how, that's how we evolve. That's how we get better and better and better. We carry this cellular memory that teaches us how to be who we are today. So we're, the babies that are born today already know how to run computers. Like how, we're literally born with new information, updated information. And so our bodies hold all of this intelligence. But for some reason in our society, we have been severely disconnected from the intelligence of our bodies. We've been shamed out of our bodies and out of our emotions and out of a lot of things that are here to help guide us. And so like my work specifically is to help literally integrate the mind and the body and the soul, because, and talking about limiting beliefs, right? Your mind creates structures in your body to protect you from things so that you can be safe. Sometimes those things serve you, sometimes they don't. But what I found is that our mind has been taught to create structures in our body that keep our soul out, because we've been taught that the presence of our soul, our energy to be present in our body is dangerous. That's a dangerous thing, that it's a shameful thing to enjoy the presence of your own body.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just ridiculous.
Right.
We were talking about before the session too about creating neural pathways in the brain that connect the mind and body. And one of the techniques that we utilized during the session together was the tapping while saying the affirmations. And for me, that was just so powerful. I could literally like feel it in my body, and just the connection was so strong after. I immediately noticed a difference. And just by reprogramming those limiting beliefs and saying and tapping and creating the neural pathways is such a powerful impact. And the session for me really helped me to kind of just feel grounded in myself. And I've been saying those affirmations daily and following that. So thank you for that. It's really helped immensely. So it's definitely beneficial.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and basically learning that you can, like, it's okay. It's not a big scary evil thing. It's just something, and being able to kind of work with it and be like, okay, I see what's here, and bringing in that innate guidance to kind of, and that's the beautiful thing about these sessions is that your body knows what's serving you, what's not, and how to kind of support you in moving in that direction. What kind of relationships can we activate? And this is where I kind of wanted to talk about too, like, okay, so we identify, there's some limiting belief that's creating tension in your lower back, and it brings clarity, and it breaks up that information and brings in new information. And then the next step really after that is being able to be the change you want to see and create that change in your life. And this is where I really love, like, so even feeling unstable or unsupported or insecure in your life. And so usually our brain will be like, so even once you figure that out, okay, maybe I should work harder to create more, or maybe I should, get an exercise routine or get a diet or whatever it is. Maybe I need to go to a chiropractor, or maybe I need to have back surgery, or maybe your brain kind of comes up with all of these ideas.
I've heard the back surgery story. I'm like, no, I'm not getting back surgery.
Yeah, and then your brain's like, I don't know what to do, and I'm so confused, and like, how do I create this, right? So one of the amazing things about the body, and we know this in the line of work that we do, like, be the change you want to see, like literally vibrating in the energy. So like, if you want to create more abundance, you should figure out some freaking way to feel abundant without having it first, right? Like,
law of assumption. I already assume I'm abundant. I mean,
right.
We craft our own realities through our beliefs.
Right. Yeah. So in the human body, when we kind of identify, okay, I want to create more stability, I want to create more support, I want to create a sense of that, a feeling of that in my life. So you can literally be that change by working with the aspect of your body that is an expert in that area, and allowing that part of your body to literally contribute its wisdom and its insight into your behaviors and your actions. So what happens is that your brain will be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what we should do. Like, I feel this and I don't know what to do about it. And then the area of your body that actually has input, that has a good idea, because we often think that our brain is the only one that comes up with ideas, but it's not. It's literally receiving information from the collective consciousness of your body that has every single part of your body has something different to offer. And this is really what reflects into our society, is that each and every one of us has something valuable to offer the whole. And if the leader is not valuing the perspective of everyone, we all get pretty pissed off about it, right?
Right.
So when you kind of apply that to your body, if you're struggling, if your brain is struggling to figure something out in your life, and there's a body part that hurts, it's likely because that body part has a good idea that you're not listening to, and it's kind of pissed off that you're not acknowledging that it has something to contribute.
That ties in a lot, Jamie, with what we were talking about earlier. I had a session with a client where, as I mentioned to you, his hands were hurting and he had arthritis in his hands and he couldn't move his fingers. And when we went into session, we found out the simplicity of the message and was simply that he just needed to let go. He was holding on so tightly to past trauma that it was actually manifesting in his body, in his hands, as pain. Like he couldn't move his thumbs. And so to your point, when we talk about the answer is in the body, if you can't figure something out, just look for the pain in your body, and more than likely you're going to figure out what the answer is. So It's amazing how the body works to send us signals, but we're usually just not even aware of paying attention to them because of society has taught us that the answer lies in Western medicine or with going to the doctor, popping a pill, rather than looking within.
Right. And I think that it's largely because we don't realize that there is a genius that lives inside of us, that there is a freaking expert in there that knows you better than anybody on this planet could ever possibly know you. I don't care how many freaking books they've read. Like I don't even know you as well as your own body knows you.
Right.
And it loves you so much, and it wants to take care of you, and it wants to give you the experience of a lifetime. And like, so just being able, and honestly, I feel like even one of the biggest steps is recognizing, oh, there is a genius within me that literally has access to the resources that create life. I always tell women, like, especially, when a woman has an acre of pain, right? And I ask them, do you have any children? Oh, so you grew an entire human inside of you, but you cannot seem to repair your knee? That seems illogic. That just seems crazy. Like, why? How have we come to understand ourselves in such a limited way?
Yeah.
And so I really love working with shifting up our perspective on the indicators. Because usually if there's a pain in your body, it means that part of your body has something really valuable to offer you. And that it's just trying to get your attention, right? Like a little kid, like, listen to me, I have something to share with you. Yes. And our brain is so busy and so overthinking things. It's like, shut up, I don't have time for you. When really that's the thing that is like going to give you the relief that you're looking for. And then furthermore to that, you can actually like work with your hips and just honestly not to get rid of the pain and tension, but to like hang out with a friend who knows something, right? Like, oh, this friend is really good at security and support. So I just want to hang out with them for a little while, like have tea, or like I'm just going to be present with that part of me that knows how to create that in my life. And the more that you kind of sit with that, and even whatever you want to do, little yoga stretches or whatever, but with the intention that this area of my body is an expert and has valuable information to offer me. And then the more that you create a relationship with that, you're literally allowing energy to flow, and your brain is having a conversation with that part of your body. And so now your thoughts are going to reflect the input of that part of your body. And I actually created a company called the Mind Body Consulting when I was doing massage, and I might have to kind of run with that a little bit more too. But the idea was that if you don't know what to do about something in your life, like how to start a business or file your taxes or fix your toilet, you consult an expert, right? You bring somebody who knows. So if you're having an issue within your mind and body, within literally the experience of your life, what better expert to consult than the intelligence within you, than your own innate wisdom. And I think it's super amazing because knowing that you first of all have this innate wisdom, this intelligence, and that you also have basically you have a pharmaceutical factory of chemicals and hormones. Your body can literally create any experience that you choose. It
can
immediately can pump out chemicals and hormones faster than any pharmaceutical company on this planet. And so the more that we work with it on purpose, the more that it will work with us on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun.
Definitely super fun. And I love that, you know, I'm just going to say, like, I think we're like activators. Like, we're here to activate people and help people awaken and realize these truths about themselves. And our line of work is so powerful. And I love that we can just get together and collaborate and have these discussions and help people to realize, you know, how powerful the mind and body truly is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
We can all feel safer and happier and be more resourceful. And we just hope that the planet is, and I really think that we're on a brink of a whole new experience of
absolutely
resourceful happiness for everyone. Okay, well, I feel like that's all I have to, oh my goodness. Yeah. I feel like that's all I have to talk about. Do you have anything else to share?
No, I really don't. I really enjoy getting together and just, you know, talking about what we do. And thank you for the session. It was such an amazing experience.
Of course. Thank you for allowing me to share it with you. All right. We'll stop.